Hello again and welcome to another episode of I Want to Talk About This Album. And today, the cat is out of the bag. I've been teasing this for months. Every time I've done one of these Motorhead records, I keep saying, this is not my favorite Motorhead record. My favorite Motorhead record is yet to come. And today is the day when it's finally been revealed. My favorite Motorhead record is, yes, it is Orgasmatron. Yeah, there it is right there. And I'm going to talk about it today. And Damien, if you're watching this, you already knew this. And maybe a few others knew it. But yeah, Orgasmatron is my favorite. And I'm going to finally talk about it today. I got this months and months ago. This is one of the rare ones that I got on eBay. I got this from somewhere in England, a record store in England. From eBay is where I got this. Last year, I don't know when. Why am I talking about it today? Why am I asking a question to myself and then answering it? In the last episode, I talked about Metallica Master of Puppets, which came out in 1986. This, Orgasmatron, also came out in 1986. And I've kind of always had an association with those two albums together. They were, as I said in that episode, Master of Puppets is probably my favorite album ever. And from 1986... I don't know if there's one other that I maybe like better than Orgasmatron, which is one of my also top 4 albums ever, contender for number 1, which I will talk about at some point. I can see it right here in front of me. So I kind of get, Master of Puppets and Orgasmatron. I kind of see them together as, brothers, cousins, in-laws, something like that. So when I talk about Metallica, that kind of spurred me on to talk about Orgasmatron. So my history with Orgasmatron, I've talked many times about Motorhead, so there's no need to rehash any of that, but I will talk about specifically Orgasmatron. It wasn't the first Motorhead record I got, that was Another Perfect Day, but it was the first time I saw Motorhead live. I saw the Orgasmatron tour, and there's my ticket. You can see that was November 15th, 1986. Is that right? With Razor at the Concert Hall in Toronto. Concert Hall was supposed to be where Metallica was. The Concert Hall was where Metallica was supposed to play on the Master of Puppets tour. Amazing, at some point in 1986, that Metallica and Motorhead were playing the same venues. And Motorhead had played the Concert Hall. I remember they played there in '84. I was too young to go to it, but I did go to this one. The thing I remember about this, or one of the things I remember, a couple of things about this, Slayer was playing the same venue, the Concert Hall. This was November 15th. Slayer was playing there, I want to say it was November 28th, with Sacrifice, and Razor, as I mentioned, was opening this one. That was pretty cool. I was big into Razor already at this point. This was my third time. I saw Razor in March '85, then October '85. And now November '86, maybe I'd seen them somewhere else in between. Sacrifice I had seen at least once. I saw them. Actually, I saw Sacrifice and Razor together. I'm getting off topic here. I basically had to choose between seeing Motorhead with Razor or seeing Slayer with Sacrifice. I had already seen Slayer in March '85, and I hadn't seen Motorhead. I had been a fan of both for a few years at that point. And I could only see one, and I did choose Motorhead. No regrets, because I saw them both many times after that, Motorhead and Slayer, including together in 1988, Motorhead, Slayer, and Overkill all together. And that was probably, I don't know if I've ever been to a louder concert than this one, Motorhead at the Concert Hall in Toronto on November 15th, 1986. Really, really, really loud, just incredibly loud. Everything that you, even at that point, had known about Motorhead, that they were the loudest band in the world, it was true. Although I did see them in 2013 and the sound was terrible and not loud at all. So take that for what it's worth. But this album, Orgasmatron, is my favorite one. It's kind of a weird album. It's the only album with this lineup. Of course, it's Lemmy and, Lemmy, I guess at this point, was really the only leftover from Motorhead. Fast Eddie had left. He hadn't been on the last album, Another Perfect Day. Filthy Phil the Animal Taylor, Filthy Taylor, whatever you would call him. He had left before. He played Another Perfect Day, and he was replaced on drums by Pete Gill from Saxon. I was never into Saxon, and so the fact that Pete Gill was in the band didn't matter to me because I wasn't into Saxon. But they did do that lineup: Lemmy, Phil Campbell, Wurzel, and Pete Gill. They did do the 4 songs on No Remorse, which were Killed by Death, Locomotive, Snaggletooth, and Steal Your Face, which you could say. And then there were also a couple of other bonus songs, Under the Knife. There were 2 different, they weren't versions of Under the Knife, they were 2 different songs called Under the Knife. So this was really the first and only album with those 4 members on it. Kind of weird that it's my favorite. And so it's unique for that. It's also unique for it. I think it has, and maybe it's because of the lineup, I don't know. There's not another Motorhead record that sounds like this. It sounds like Motorhead. There's no mistaking when you hear it that this is Motorhead. But it doesn't sound like how Motorhead sounded before. And Rock and Roll was the next album after this, and it didn't sound like Orgasmatron. I know, and I read Lemmy's autobiography many decades ago, 1999 or 2000, whenever that was that came out. And I remember him talking, Lemmy talked about Orgasmatron. He didn't hate it, I don't think, but he didn't like how it sounded. And I've heard some Motorhead fans over the years saying that they don't like the way this album sounds. I do understand that people have different tastes, so I'm not disagreeing with they think it sounds bad. I just don't know how they think it sounds bad. I think it's a great sounding album. It doesn't sound, as I said, like classic Motorhead, like Ace of Spades and Bomber and Overkill, or even Iron Fist, or even Another Perfect Day. But I think this is a really, really great sounding Motorhead record. Probably the most unique drum sound that they ever had. Again, I'm not sure if that's because of Pete Gill being the only album he played on. But I like everything about this album. This is, what's funny about Motorhead too, is when I think of my favorite records, like my top 10 favorite records, which I can think off the top of my head about 9. I'm not sure what the 10th one is. Motorhead, as much as I love them, they're one of my top, God, I hate these rankings and everything, but they're one of my top 4 bands. I've got a Motorhead tattoo here. I've got a Motorhead tattoo here. And I love them, but they don't have an album that's in my top 10. Again, I just said a moment ago, take that for what it's worth. So I saw this tour, and I'd been into them for a couple years. This was what really got me hooked on Motorhead, was seeing them live on this tour. It was just incredible. I loved everything about it. It was loud. It was a real heavy metal crowd there, real kind of thrash metal. A lot of people, I guess, were there to see Razor. And this album is, a lot of people call this, they say this is a heavy Motorhead record. I think it's a real Motorhead rock and roll record. I don't think there are any aspects of this that later Motorhead, and I've talked about this, which I don't really like. I don't like the really thrash metal, not thrash metal, but that heavy, more modern Motorhead from Inferno, whatever, Kiss of Death, Motorizer, Aftershock. Those were too metal for me. Some people say this about Orgasmatron. I really, really don't think so. And I guess another unique thing about this album is it doesn't say the word Orgasmatron anywhere on the cover. It's got it on the back, and I guess it has it on the spine, if you can read that, but it doesn't say it on the record. You might know, I only read this in the internet era, that this record was supposed to be called Riding with the Driver, and this is it makes more sense that this is the album cover, and I love this album cover too. And I did buy this, not this shirt that I'm wearing now, but I bought the original shirt. I got this shirt at El Chopo years ago. I bought the shirt on this tour, and it was the same front, but on the back it said, I came, did you? Very cheeky. So there's Orgasmatron. I'm going to open up now and go through it track by track. And this is almost like Master of Puppets. I talked about that. I said, I love it so much, but I almost have nothing to say just because it's so good. So I'll open it up now, and now when I bought the original record in 1986, I hated because it had the dreaded plastic opaque inside sleeve, so I guess this is going to be the same thing. I'll see this in a few seconds. Always hated it because I always wanted to sit down and follow along with the lyrics. I would imagine this is going to be the same thing. Probably, I'll guess nothing inside. I don't think there's any poster or anything like that. I don't think it's Colored vinyl. Yeah, it looks like it's nothing. Just a really plain sleeve. Am I right? It looks like... Oh, okay, it's something. Not bad. I mean, still no lyrics, but it does have... This looks like it would have been a gatefold. It looks like that and that would have been a gatefold. No lyrics, but pictures are better than nothing. And I think it's just regular black record. Yep, and when I had this originally, the label, it was on Viper Records in Canada, which Razor is on the same label in Canada. So there it is. I can, I guess, remove this. If I can get this back in, then I'll remove the plastic. Who keeps the plastic on their records? I know a lot of people do. I don't understand why. I think it starts to get loose, and I know they're protecting the cover, but I think a little wear and tear is okay. So there it is. And again, I have to ask, what does Mike Pratt think of Orgasmatron? He's chimed in before. Mike has in the comments section down below that he's not really. He liked. I think he said he liked 1916. Mike, what do you think about Orgasmatron? It's my favorite. All right, so going through this track by track. And again, I don't know what to say. It's such a great album. Every song is great. There are 9 songs on this. Probably every one could be my favorite. Like really, I can't really stress enough how strongly, how much I love this album. So the first song is Deaf Forever. And this is a real kind of a and I don't know if this is because of the lyrics too, but it sounds like a marching, like a battle hymn. And again, I'm not sure the lyrics. What's the opening line of Deaf Forever? Marshall Croak, no. Stone-faced dog, swirling fog, gates open on the dark, dark night, standing stone, skull and bone, dead witness to an unseen fight. Beat the drum, beat forever on the endless march. I think I'm mixing up two verses. Sword and shield, bone and steel, rictus grin, deaf forever till the battle's din, deaf forever till the battle's din. Hey, I love Deaf Forever. Next is now this is for sure my favorite song on this record, and it's one of my top Motorhead songs ever. I've said that about I'm So Bad Baby I Don't Care. And the song Motorhead and Nothing Up My Sleeve is for sure one of my favorites. Very cool lyrics. You know, it's Nothing on My Sleeve. It's a little bit about magic and disappearing and making a woman disappear, I guess, from your life. And it's got that great bass intro, that really, you know, classic Motorhead bass intro, like, oh, we are Motorhead. Maybe that's my number one favorite song, that bass intro. Iron Fist. What else had that real chainsaw bass that Lemmy had? You're playing tricks, babe, and that's a fact. Your magic circle ain't where it's at. One moment you were here and then you disappeared. This ain't the first time I've caught your act. Nothing up my sleeve, babe. Watch out, watch out. Magic's what you need, babe. Just like that. It's a very, very fast song. You know your sleight of hand is messing up my life. Maybe this time, babe, you're going to get it right. I'm gone, but now you lack the spell to bring me back. I'm confusing the verses again. But yeah, Nothing on My Sleeve, probably my favorite. No, it is my favorite from this record. Although all the other ones could be really close to it. Ain't My Crime. This is the first song I heard from this record. I talked in the Metallic episode, Master of Puppets, the guy called Brian Taylor, who used to do this college radio show in Toronto called Aggressive Rock. And I heard Battery and Master of Puppets and taped them. I also, probably around the same time, first heard Ain't My Crime from his show, taped it. So I was familiar with Ain't My Crime before the record came out. Really, really top song. Very, very, I think especially at this point, maybe Another Perfect Day was pretty melodic, but Motorhead wasn't really melodic, but the chorus of Ain't My Crime, I've had enough, stepping out of line, ain't gonna stop me, babe. You ain't worth a dime. You nearly had me fooled, wasting my time. And if you broke my heart, well then you broke my, you know it ain't my crime. Very, very melodic, and I love just everything about this song. How does Ain't My Crime go? I don't believe a word. I know you tell me lies. Just watch me flip the bird right in your lion eye. Amazing song, Ain't My Crime. Next is Claw. Not The Claw, just Claw. I know what my claw is for. Very, very fast song also. Maybe a little bit metally, a little bit metallic. Kind of a voyeuristic song lyrically. Watching him, watching you. I was hoping you'd be here tonight. Watching him, he keeps getting in my light. God, it's hard for me to remember the lyrics. And so this is the last verse. And so the ballet starts again. Exit stage left through the door, and we begin the horizontal dance. Can't remember. Why am I always screw these up. And then well, anyway, I love Claw. Next, I'm blowing this. I'm sorry. And next is Mean Machine. Maybe one of the fastest, most furious Motorhead songs, but I think it still sounds like Motorhead. It's not metal Motorhead, but it's just fast and it's a juggernaut. Wow. Bright lights, big city. No, that's not the opening line. What's the opening line? If I get the opening line, that makes it a lot easier. Better call the FBI. Better. Midnight Runaway. Know you're here to stay. Bright lights, big city. Know you're running scared. Unclean, Fever Dream. Take a ride on the high side, on the Mean Machine, something like that. I love Mean Machine. And this one is it this? Is it? Yeah, it is Mean Machine. Towards the end, in the last 40 seconds, 30 seconds of Mean Machine, Lemmy is just screaming. Now, Lemmy doesn't really scream, but he's just wailing at the end of Mean Machine. Sounds great. Side 2 is Built for Speed. I was familiar with this song already because this was kind of a reworked version of a song called On the Road, which was on, if you remember the Hearing Aid soundtrack, everybody did this, We Are the World, and the songs for starvation in Africa and Ethiopia, things like that. And Ronnie James Dio did the Hearing Aid thing. They did Stars, which was the heavy metal version of We Are the World, and Don't They Know It's Christmas. And then there was a record that went along with that, and Motorhead had a song called On the Road, which was, I guess, an earlier version of Built for Speed. That was always my favorite on the Hearing Aid record. And again, like all 9 songs on this album, it's one of my favorites. The lyrics were different. I think they were. You know the rules. You all know the game. Try to do what's right. And I swear I can't complain if I die tonight. But I don't think it's in the stars for me to go that way. I'll be here for a long, long time, babe. I'm here to stay. I was born with the hammer down. Everything I was born to rock and roll. Everything I need. I was born with the hammer down. I was built for speed. Love that song. Next is Riding with the Driver. Another really, really fast song in the vein of, Nothing Up My Sleeve and Claw, Mean Machine. Was supposed to be the title track. Hey, Riding with the Driver. Metal. I can never figure out the opening line of this. I know the opening line of the second verse was Juggernaut coming down the line. Hear the banshee cry. Engineer like to lose his mind, glory in his eye. Too fast to live this way, too young to die. I feel like I'm kind of, again, conflating that. But, metal scream and thrash. I thought that was cool for Motorhead at the time. Let me sing something about metal scream and thrash. He talks about Casey Jones, who I had no idea who Casey Jones was until sometime later, and I still don't remember who they was. But yeah, Riding with the Driver is excellent. Classic Motorhead. Next is Dr. Rock. Oh, this was, maybe at the time, this was my favorite song. This song just hits you right away. There's no introduction. There's no drum, intro, no riff. Just boom, right off the bat. All right. I hope you sons of bitches see the light. Here we all right. I hope you sons of bitches see the light. You again. I always had a hard time with these lyrics. Chin up, shoulders back. You got a body like a Marshall stack. X-ray, you're gonna pay. The only chance you ever got to get away. Pay me. I ain't no doctor of philosophy. I got the medicine you need. I got the power. I got the speed. I'll find out how to stop your clock. We sure ain't talking, Dr. Spock. Hear me talking, Dr. Rock. And they use this as an opener on subsequent tours. They played this when I saw them. I think on that tour that I saw them on Orgasmatron, I'm almost sure they opened with Iron Fist. But yeah, Dr. Rock is amazing. And then the last song is Orgasmatron. This is I would say this is every bit a signature Motorhead song as Ace of Spades, Overkill, Killed by Death, whatever the other ones are. This is almost, I hate the word epic, but this song is almost epic. It's maybe not quite long enough, but and they kind of, I think they did several songs after this on subsequent albums that were similar in the vein of Orgasmatron. I talked about it in what was the album I did a month ago or so? I can't remember. Where I thought it had like an Orgasmatron. I think it was on 1916. I can't remember. This one I did know the lyrics to because it was the only one that they printed the lyrics to. I am the one, and this is a slow, heavy, kind of Lemmy's got his nasty, growly voice. I am the one, Orgasmatron, the outstretched, grasping hand. My image is of agony. My servants rape the land. Obsequious and arrogant, clandestine and vain. 2,000 years of misery, of torture in my name. Hypocrisy made paramount, paranoia the law. My name is called religion. Sadistic, sacred, whore. I twist the truth, I rule the world. My crown is called deceit. I am the emperor of lies. You grovel at my feet. I rob you and I slaughter you. I rob you and I slaughter you. Your downfall is my gain. And still you play the sycophant and revel in your pain. And all my promises are lies, all my love is hate. I am the politician, and I decide your fate. I march before a martyred world, an army for the fight. I speak of great heroic days of victory and might. I hold a banner drenched in blood. I urge you to be brave. I lead you to your destiny. I lead you to your grave. Your bones will build my palace. Your eyes will stud my crown. For I am Mars, God of war, and I will cut you down. That is classic Motorhead. I don't know why this isn't. Maybe I was lying when I said Nothing Up My Sleeve is my favorite, because Orgasmatron, that's pretty fucking good. You can't get much better than that when it comes to Motorhead anyway. So there it is. There's the Motorhead Orgasmatron. I feel disappointed in myself. I was waiting all this time to talk about this record, and I feel like I didn't express, this has happened a few times, I feel like I can't express strongly enough how much I love a certain album. But I really do love, of course I love Motorhead. And I especially love, and there's more to come. I've still got, how many? Looks like about 6 or 7 Motorhead records still to go. Do the Motorhead math and you'll see which ones I'm going to talk about. And here it is, my favorite Motorhead record ever. This is called Orgasmatron.